There we go. I see you there, Blake.
There we
We
are.
are live here. So before we already got some people hopping on, dude, already. So,
What's up, everybody?
yeah. So first of all, I'm not in my my podcast studio at home. So I'm out here in Georgia. I'm in Pooler, Georgia, which is right on the cups of Savannah, and we're doing this. You can hear the sticks in the background maybe a little bit, right? So I'm at Carson Fortner's Pooler Karate, and they're doing a stick test right now. And right now, so if you've never been to his studio, he's got 100-foot long mat. Okay.
Huge studio.
And it's a monster studio. And we were just here with his yellow belt class, and they had yellow belts on here, then they had white belts, and they had purple belts. And there's, 75 kids on the mat in 3 different areas. Okay. I mean, it's just huge.
You know what I mean? Karate. Where's that at? You said where? In Georgia, right?
So yeah, you'll fly into Savannah, and it's literally a 8-minute ride from Savannah Airport to here.
Oh, cool.
And so I know you just got to meet him today. So he wants to have you out here with his students and do a Blake Foster. So we're so spoiled, right? So when I come out here, it's like royalty, bro. But my students there, I'm so spoiled because everybody just knows, it's just Mr. Cox. Out here, the appreciation level and being in the South is just higher. It's just a whole different ball game. So, But we have some stuff. I got an old black belt on here named Doug Cooper. I think he lives in Texas now. He's saying hi. I don't know if you remember Doug or not. You know what I mean? So let me introduce you formally. So if you guys are here, this is Blake Foster. We got to be blessed to have him the last couple of years in the school, and he got ready for a master's rank underneath me. So, we are lucky to have him as one of our official masters at Chatsworth Karate.
That everyone didn't think I was going to fully commit and do.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, he's not doing that.
Come on, we know somebody that said, but we won't mention any names. Justice Coleman,
that
we were going to do something together that didn't happen. But with
it's
that,
funny, though, because everyone was like, "Oh, Blake's not going to do it. Blake's not going to do it," and then Blake pulled it out and did it.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing about you, Blake. Your work ethic is by far what it is. We'll get into the health side of things and how you transformed yourself physically as you get ready for a fight. But I think where we'll start first is, you live close to the school, and your family, and I guess basically where we started in acting first, and then we'll go from there. So why don't you tell us about your family and from there?
Yeah, I think my mom and dad knew what they were doing right away. As soon as they saw me come out, I was not a shy kid at all. I started acting really young. I was a Huggies baby, so I mean that just goes to show how far it goes back as far as acting is concerned. But I did a bunch of stuff as a kid. I was always acting, going on auditions. My mom was working her ass off, taking me to set, audition to audition. And I think it just picked off once I started actually doing martial arts. I started karate when I was about 5 years old. Sherman Oaks Karate back in the day under Bernie Krasno. And it was a tough one. He was a very tough instructor at the time. I mean, I was 5 years old and I wasn't getting advanced. I wasn't moving up in rank. I tested a couple times for him. I think I got my purple belt or something like that through him. But acting was like something I just did for fun outside of karate. Karate was really my foundation. And every time in life I've ever fallen off, I've always went back to my roots as my martial arts. And it's helped pick up the process of where I need to be in life. But I did a bunch of stuff as a kid. Acting, that's the only thing I knew that was like second nature to me. Going to auditions and studying scripts and getting out there to book something. When I booked my first, I think it was a marshmallow commercial, those rice cakes. And I was just sitting there shaking my head. And it was lovely. And I was like, oh my God. Everything just started transitioning. We got the right agents. We were in Hollywood. It was the right time. My mom knew my look. I had long hair at the time. Now I got no hair. But
that's how things roll, isn't it?
I know. As you get older, those things go. That's why I tell everybody, if you don't use it, you lose it. Stick with the program. But acting was just something that I grew up knowing as like what I was supposed to do in life. and martial arts was second nature to that. Actually, it took a backseat to it once I started really getting out there on the audition circuit and getting bigger roles and bigger films and working with these big celebrities like Christopher Reeve and William H. Macy. Back in '95, I did a movie called Above Suspicion with them, and I think that's what kind of was a pivotal changing in my acting career, getting to work with such greats like that. Kim Cattrall was in that film. Yeah, and then martial arts was something I would do on the weekends. It was just something like it took the back seat, and I would go to tournaments on the weekends, and I would be on set Monday through Friday if I was on a film or a show.
Well, I believe because you guys, I don't know if it was you lived in Chatsworth, Mom used to bounce you around a little bit. And I think, I ended up meeting you because I had a school in Chatsworth.
DeSoto and Lassen.
Right. And DeSoto and Lassen. I think that's where you came to me way, way back in the days. So I opened that up in 1990. So in those early 90s, you used to come in as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And probably fight class.
We just fight class.
It was just coming and banging.
Yeah.
That's where I met your mom. And we had your mom and I had an instant connection with your pops too, because I was a huge Elvis fan, and anybody that knows your folks knows that Elvis is their love for sure. 100%. And we just had that, Of course, I think you and I have a matching, right?
Dude, come to find out, years later, we both got TCBs.
Yeah, look at that.
TCB crew, man.
TCB, right?
Yep.
So we have our Elvis.
I have a gold TCB that my mom and dad got me when I was really young. I still have it. So
yeah,
it's crazy how things work. That's exactly true. I was literally bouncing from studio to studio, going from tournament to tournament, and she would just have me in there because that's what I did at tournaments. I didn't do forms. I went there and I fought. I did point sparring and then eventually transitioned into consecutive and continuous fighting and things like that. But yeah, I remember coming to your studio back in the day. It was me, Stefan Rubenfeld, and his cousin. We had a fight team. It was us three. It was me, Stefan, and Ruben, and we had our Team USA.
That's right.
We had little matching uniforms and everything. And we would go to tournaments and we would fight 3 points, and then boom, that would be it.
I remember it well, man. That's how our relationship grew at that point. And then, your acting took off. How you and I came back together. Remember how it came back together? You were at a Comic-Con.
Oh yeah. I do remember that.
I was walking past and I hear you yell, Mr. Cox.
Yeah.
and I'm wait, what? And it's like, this is Blake. It's Blake Foster. I'm like, and you're a grown man then, right?
That's what everybody said. They're like, no way. Yeah, that's what everybody said.
Right. And that's how you and I connected from a Comic-Con. So it's a pretty awesome story. Well, let's, what
and then we flash forward, and then we go forward 10 more years, and I walk into Chatsworth Karate, and I'm like, my son's about to be 5 years old or 4 years old. I was like, this is where he's got to be taking karate from.
Yeah,
the vibe was just it was perfect. I was like, oh my god, we live right around the corner now, and worked out really well.
Now you bring your children in. It's an awesome thing. Well, we know what one of the most known things you're for is that Blue Power Ranger. Let's talk about the year that came about and how that came about. How is it you actually got that part?
Yeah, honestly, it's my favorite story because working so hard as a kid, memorizing 12 pages of script, having to go into an audition room in front of 6-7 producers and perform that without having a script is how I booked most of my roles. My mom would prepare me so well that when I went into that room, I didn't have second guess nature to look down at a piece of paper to tell me my line. I would actually act it out with the producers. And I think that's what got me a lot of my roles. Power Rangers was different. I was filming an independent film at the time. It was about talking animals. It was called Rusty a Dog's Tale. And I had no idea that the director of that film at the time was the producer of Power Rangers. We were filming the movie, and I think it took us about 3 months to film the movie. One of those weekends, I had a big tournament in Las Vegas that I had to go and fight in, and we were going to fly out Friday and be back by Monday, start filming again. So I went out to Vegas. I was a seeded fighter at the time. I didn't have to fight anybody up until like the top 4 people. The division was 25 plus kids. I got to fight the top 4 after they went through everything. I finally won, took home the trophy, went back to set the next day, and was like, I had it on set. I was so happy. It was one of the plug-in light trophies. I know you remember those Las Vegas light trophies.
They're awesome, man.
The big ones that used to light up.
Giant, at least 6 or 7 feet high.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I took it to set, and everybody was like, "What is that? What is that?" And then I started showing them the karate, and I was doing gymnastics at the time. I think I was like right around 11. So I was doing backflips and 540 kicks and jump spinning heel kicks and jump front kicks. And I think that the director was in his dressing room and just caught wind of it, because he invited me and my mom into the dressing room, and he said, "I can't believe he's so good at his martial arts." And my mom started telling him, "Yeah, well, that's what we do. We just actually got back from a tournament, this and that." And he was like, something just sparked in his head that day, I think, because he was like, "How would you like to be a Power Ranger?" And at the time, I was literally getting off the bus when I wasn't on set to go home and watch Power Rangers. Me and my sister would run home, watch Power Rangers when I wasn't filming, and I'd have the action figures and everything. So I didn't believe him. I was like, "You're joking. That's my favorite show. What are you talking about? They're all older than me." So the next day he had Austin St. John, the Red Ranger, Jason, and he had Kimberly, Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger, the two most popular Rangers at the time, come to set. And they pulled up in a black town car. He was like, okay. The next day they pull up in a town car. I'm in a distance. I see them get out of the car, and I'm like almost faint. Because at the time I was like, these are huge celebrity actors. I'm doing an independent film, nothing too fancy. And I see the Power Rangers on set. So I got to meet them, hang out with them. And then the next thing I knew, I was a Power Ranger. There was no audition process. That's how I say it was different, because I didn't have to go and memorize anything. It just was given to me. They created that role around me that day, thinking, you know what, this kid's a martial artist. He can act. He's on set. Let's make him a Power Ranger. And that's how it happened.
That's
the next thing I knew, I was sitting at a table reading in Valencia, California, and I see them all come walking in, all the Rangers. And I'm like, this is unreal.
That's just an awesome story, right? And then because
so cool,
did you ever think at that time that it would be, I guess, what would be called a cult at this time?
No, never. But I do remember the producer telling me, he's like, Blake, we're a non-union show. At the time, they were non-union, so it wasn't a bunch of money. But he was like, one thing I will say is you won't make a lot of money from this, but you will be famous for the rest of your life. And he wasn't lying. Flash forward 10 years, 20 years. We're in 2021. Social media is through the roof. We got our own brand. We got our own company. We got a lot of stuff in the works. Comic Cons is what really did it, though, because Comic Cons gives those fans the ability to meet the people that they really want to meet. I look back before Comic Con started, I wanted to go to San Diego Comic Con to meet Tony Stark because I love the Avengers.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting in London Film Comic Con, I'm sitting across from Lou Ferrigno having a sandwich.
I know. I remember the story, and that I'm just a Hulk fanatic, right?
I know.
Tell me the story. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
I actually have a video on one of my episodes on YouTube of Lou Ferrigno and me signing autographs right next to each other, and he's telling me how swole I am. He's like, "You're getting buff. You're getting really buff." He's like, and then we're doing push-ups together, and he's critiquing me on how to do the push-ups. I thought that was cool. I was like, somebody better film this.
Yeah, that's just awesome. Hey, there's somebody. His name's Larry Roberts. He's a friend of mine. He's a big podcaster too. He just popped on saying "Go Power Rangers."
Go.
Shout out to Larry.
How's it going, Larry?
He's a good dude. So now we are in this. This is how long did Power Rangers go? How many years?
I started Power Rangers. The table reading was for Power Rangers Turbo, the movie, which is the poster right here behind me. I did the movie, and then I did 52 episodes. So I was on the show for about 2.5 years.
2.5 years on that show.
Yeah. It was a long time.
I know that I have a Blake Foster signed picture of you as a kid in that Power Ranger thing.
Oh, I think it's saw it in your office. Don't be shy, Mr. Cox. Tell him it's hanging in the office.
I remember you as a kid coming in with it, and isn't that funny? As you take things and you never know what down the road what that's going to look like.
No, I think that was my mom and dad doing that, because I swear I went into a liquor store over here off of DeSoto and Nordhoff, and there's a Power Ranger picture of me in there. I'm kidding. We gave Power Ranger pictures to everybody, though. Honestly, I think it was just something that everybody wanted. Like even like all the studios that I went to, they were like, "Yo, let's have a picture of Blake up in here," Well, it was a very popular thing because I was the only Kid Ranger at the time. Nobody else was a Power Ranger as a kid, 12-year-old kid,
Right.
So.
Yeah. You were the kid Power Ranger, dude. I mean, that's pretty, you think back on that, right? You think back on things you do in your life and you're like, wow, did I really do that? I think I look back on that every time I think about giving, President Reagan a black belt, an honorary black belt, and tying it on his waist.
Now that's in your office. I've seen it.
Yeah. In that moment,
that's got to be pretty cool.
Right. In the moment, you're like, it was something else to see him shake hands with my son, and the president's asking you, and he goes, okay, show me how to chop, and stuff. And
to the president.
Right.
I know, that's so cool.
And Michael's a little kid, and he's trying to pull the president down. The president's giving him yo-yos. And so I made a shadow box of Michael because I kept all the stuff the president actually gave him. And a year or so ago, I gave that to Michael. I said, this is all the stuff that President Reagan gave you at that time.
Oh, that's cool.
And when I look back on how auspicious that certain occasion was like, wow, I was in with one of the most well-known presidents ever. And I got to do that because of martial arts, dude.
And the pictures and everything to go with it. Like you got to give him a gi, a belt.
Right.
Like that's super cool.
So that's, and the same with you, right? So you get to be this kid Power Ranger.
I mean, not everyone has a Power Ranger suit hanging in their living room. Pretty cool. Yeah. It's like my Superman suit, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I was very blessed, very lucky to be a Power Ranger, honestly.
Yeah. So Larry Roberts just said that too. He said it was such a cultural phenomenon. Let me show you up there. This is his saying. It says it was such a cultural phenomenon for adults to kids. If you were a fan of martial arts and family fun, the Power Rangers were a massive impact.
And Mighty Morphin by far had the best martial arts. Those guys knew how to kick some butt. And honestly, growing up as a kid doing martial arts, I related to that so well. I was like, wow, this is what I want to see.
Yeah.
Mr. Edelman, what's up, dude?
That's Robert. Yeah. Robert Edelman
coming for the victory.
Yeah, that's right. That's one of your boys. So, so that's something that's, when you look back and you think about it, and you have quite a following, I believe, on you do mostly Instagram. That's mainly your social media outlet, correct?
All these other platforms these days, I can't keep up.
Yeah,
it's hard.
You know what? Pretty soon, everybody tells me, "Well, your Facebook, that's for old people." That's what my kids tell me.
Gonna be MySpace,
and pretty soon they're like, "Well, Dad, it's Snapchat and all that." I was like, "Well, when did Instagram go away?"
Yeah, well, that's kind of like go away.
That and so that's where your biggest following is. Are you just at Blake Foster on Instagram, or
no? It's Blake A. Foster on Instagram. Every platform is pretty much Blake A. Foster except for my Facebook, which is Blake Anthony Foster.
Okay, we'll put that.
And you can tell because that's back in the day before Instagram started. Nowadays you want to keep everything all together so everybody can just follow all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that back in the day when I started with Facebook.
Well, you're one of those guys. You one of those, those social guys that put yourself out there, and you got quite a following on Instagram now. But you got a lot of fans. When you go to Comic-Con, everybody wants to see you. Everybody wants to relive those Power Ranger days. And I mean, it definitely was something that what you see now, right, is all the adults that remember you probably as children, and they relive their.
Yeah, the following is crazy. Anywhere from 7 all the way up to, dude, I've had people come up to my table that are 40-year-old men saying, dude, I loved you on Power Rangers. And I relate. If I still went up and met Jason Frank or Austin St. John, I'd be the same exact way. I'm like, dude, you guys were awesome on Power Rangers.
Yeah,
it's not going to change.
Well, where did Mike Chack come in on
So
he
was.
Power
I think
Rangers?
he was Lightspeed Rescue, which was quite a ways down. So if I'm not mistaken, I don't know. I don't keep up with it that well, but after Turbo, I kind of stopped watching. I mean, I was kind of over it at the time. I already knew all the behind the scene tricks and all the stuff. I was like, But I think he was like 5-6 seasons after me, maybe 3-4 seasons. I'm not too sure, but he was a couple seasons after.
So, we got to your Power. So let's talk about your martial arts tournament days. I mean, what that looked like. I mean, you trained with, the Raiders, right? The Sherman Oaks Raiders. And
I actually got my Sherman Oaks Raider uniform. Yep. I got a Raiders uniform.
It's funny that, they were kind of the bad boys. So that's what, Butch came out of there and Bernie's daughter Mouse, and
rest in peace. He just passed away.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. I just heard about that.
He lived a good life though. He was a strong man. I talked to him almost up to every single day right before he passed. So he was still very coherent and remembered exactly who I was. And I mean, that man watched me grow throughout my years into the man I am today. But yeah, I started with them, Sherman Oaks Karate. My mom we got really involved into the whole tournament circuit. I started competing in point sparring, and I was doing really well at it. And then I was at Long Beach, like I was telling you earlier. I was at the Long Beach Coliseum at the Long Beach Convention Center, fighting with the Internationals, man, the International Flame.
That's right.
Ed Parker's Flame of International. And I went in and I demolished my whole division. And there was this one last kid there, and his instructor was Tom Bloom, and they had the studio up in Thousand Oaks with Johnny Gyro and all those guys. And I went in there and I demolished him. And then Tom came over and he was like, "Wow, what a great fighter you are, and why don't you bring him up to the studio? Let him come train with me sometime, And my mom just had me at multiple studios. I'll never forget. I was the only white kid with long hair in Compton at Leo Creer and Barry Gordon's studio, Alvin Prouder and all them down in the heart of Compton, sparring with these guys at like 12, 13 years old.
Right.
What was we bounced all around.
What was the name of their federation again? It was
the BKF.
The BKF, the Black
Karate Federation.
Yes, they were some bad boys.
Yeah, man. Alvin Prouder, Barry Gordon, Ray Wizard, Leo Creer. Those guys were all, and they had that one big riot that one year, and then after they kind of stopped. They had to give it up.
You remember that, right? You remember at the Long Beach Internationals where
kids were being thrown everywhere. Kids were being grabbed. People were hiding their kids. It was bad.
That was not a good day for us martial artists. Our lack of
Pops. I saw Pops come out of nowhere and just cold clock somebody. Old Pops, I was like, wow, he did not care.
Yeah, I was there, dude. I was up in the stands, and I was like, what in the world is going on, man?
What year was that? What year do you think that was, if you had to guess?
94, maybe 95, something like that. So I opened my school.
That was right around the time. Yeah, you're right. That was right around the time that I was doing the Above Suspicion with Christopher Reeve and them. Yep.
Correct. Yeah.
I was a green belt.
So I remember it vividly when everything's going off, and so I'm like, we're way up in these bleachers and everybody's pile driving and throwing chairs. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Oh my gosh. Right. And I said, I can't believe we're at a martial arts event, but man, I think they even got banned after that.
They did. They all stopped after that. They couldn't fight anymore. They got banned. And
it's a shame too, because they're all those guys were awesome dudes, right? And
Larry Gordon was a 5th grade teacher. You didn't want to mess with that guy. That's true. He went into high school teaching, so then those high school kids were definitely into some trouble.
That's right.
Mess with Barry.
Yeah,
Mr. Gordon.
Yeah, Larry Roberts. He said the Internationals were always a dream of mine that went unrealized, and so I remember
the Internationals long time ago.
Yeah, I'll tell Larry this. I've told this story, I think, before on here, but, I never, when I was doing all my competing in the 90s, right, and I was winning those titles, I never won the Internationals, dude. I competed hard. As a matter of fact, your dad, I've got video of your dad as a head ref in one of my things at the Internationals.
For breaking?
Not breaking. I was doing a self-defense division.
Oh.
And I was throwing people.
Oh, yeah, you and Bo used to do the sticks. Yes. I remember.
Mm-hmm. And so your dad was the head ref, and I thought, man, I really did well on this one, and I'm going to get it, right? And so I didn't win, right? I was super bummed, and so I tried for years to try and win the breaking, and I just never did. So about, I don't know, it's been almost 9 years ago now, but I was at the Internationals selling T-shirts, and I'm watching the breaking division. I'm like, this breaking division blows, man. So I decided that the next year, Internationals, I never won, so I'm going to go do it. And so I told my children's never really seen me compete. Now they're all a little bit older by then, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, hey man, I'm going to go do this. You guys come watch Dad do his thing. And I did it. And that's the first time I took first place. I finally have the international trophy sitting in that's probably one of the only ones. I had hundreds of trophies. But it was that international trophy that I have in my office that I remember the most, you know what I mean? Because I just never won it when I was really competing hard.
Yeah.
And then, meant more because my kids got to see me compete. And, I'm an older dude now, so I'm not as well known as what I used to be out in the circuit.
Oh, but, stop. Yeah,
when they hear hints of Mark Cox breaking, I don't really say it too much because some of them won't come and compete. You know what I mean? Because
they'll be like, I'm not going. If Mark's
yeah. So I'd be like, nah, man, I'm not going to tell him. I'm just going to show up that day.
How do you think I feel? So listen to this. And I know my dad's probably watching right now, so he can hear this. You said, oh, he's going to be the center ref, right? Oh, I got this. John's going to give me. John knows I won this. So we're at a tournament one time, and every time I would get up to spar, if my dad was doing that ring, he would leave the ring. But one time we got at a tournament and they had nobody else. So my dad stepped out of center and he went to like the left or the right side judge, right?
Right.
And I have photos of me clearly getting the guy underneath and my dad giving the other guy the point. And I was Dad, you lost me that fight. I busted his chops for the longest time over it.
You know what? I'm going to say the same thing. It's probably why I didn't win, because he probably gave me the score that freaking didn't win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he's not winning that time.
I remember such great memories of all those times back and then. But we were talking off air before we went on the show about what it was like, because today's martial arts. Now you have your child with me, right? And I've watched you when your boy's not having the grades up to par, and you've come to me, and he goes, no, I'm not letting him test. Yeah. He's not ready. He's not doing his thing. I'm not doing it. And I can't tell you how rare that is in today's world. And I think we spoke about how that winning just is not special anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I don't want it to be something that he feels that he has to do. Mm-hmm. I want him to work for it. I want him to love it. I want him to be passionate about it. And if he's not ready to test, I'm not going to allow him to test. He's going to go out there and he's going to give the best performance that he can. And I know that he can, because I know if he really does it and he studies really hard and he does it, he'll do great. And then COVID happened and this whole thing happened and everything started dumbing things down. And I just feel like if I had to work to get my black belt and I busted my chops, and I failed my first 2 black belt tests, Tom told me, he was like, Blake, you're better than that. I'm not going to just pass you because I'm going to pass you. I feel that you're better than what you performed at. And I went home. I cried my eyes out, but it made me a stronger black belt. And that's why I committed myself when I told you, I was like, I'm going to go for my 4th with you. I'm going to do it. I committed because I want Jackson to have that same level of commitment. I want him to see, if my dad put in that whole year of going to class, every training, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, going and memorizing all those new forms that I had to learn and the weapons forms and everything. If I could commit to doing that, then he can commit to it. So I just want it to come from him more than anything. And he's at that age where he needs to make those commitment decisions. That's going to make him stronger in life.
So you're in this parent range age group that I see a lot of coddling and stuff going on. You're just kind of a rare breed that you don't have that. Is probably due to your folks, because your folks just didn't play that at all.
I don't feel like you need to coddle them. Coddling is going to enable them to get hurt later down the line. They have to be able to know that this is real life, and what they're learning and they're taking out of this is it's not just to go to karate and have all fun and games. You're going there to learn to defend yourself. God forbid an incident happens at school and you get taken to the floor, you better learn how to be able to defend yourself, or you're going to get bullied. Bullies still exist in this day and age.
Oh, yes, they do. They're alive and well. Trust me.
And I told my kid, I was like, you won't be bullied, because I was in karate and I worked for everything that I had to. And every time some bully tried to step to me, they had a reality check and then they didn't do that again. So yeah, there will be a point where you have to draw the line. You have to say, hey, I can't coddle this kid. Back in the days, if a kid didn't know how to tie his belt, he couldn't join the mat.
And today, dude, you watch parents all tying everybody's belt, and then I'm like, what are you doing?
It bothers me. You know what bothered me more? I'm tying my belt for years, right? And then I'm coming to your studio, and I had Jackson's belt tied all up nice for him, and then some other young black belt would come and untie his belt. I'm like, what are you doing? Leave my belt alone. But it's true. Kids need to learn. Back in the days, there was rules before you got on the mat. There was rules. There was things that you had to go by. Instructors couldn't be out there in their shorts and T-shirts. They had to be, that's where it all stimulates from, is there's that level of respect has to still be there for those students. Like when I first walked in and Mr. Kinney had your school, like you walk in, hey, Mr. Kinney, you do the certain things that they need to be done, because that's what holds them accountable. If they don't have nothing to hold them accountable, they'll be standing and chewing beat like this, all over the place. So And it also comes with each kid, what kid has to offer that other kids. Some kids are not as good as some kids, so you have to, point your attention more in that area, or point your attention more in that area for the kids that can't comprehend certain things.
Right. That's true. That's true. You were really good at, such an addition to, and even for you to go to fourth degree, because for you, Blake, when you came into the studio, you even humbled yourself and said, I was given this rank, but I really never tested like you guys test for it.
Right.
And I said, well, if you want one from me, and I said, this is what you're going to have to do. If you want to do it, I'll honor it. And you were all in, dude. So it takes a certain amount of humility to say, you know what? I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to do this work. And I know you learned something from it, because there was a lot to do from it. And you were busy.
I learned way more than you could think, because honestly, coming into it, I had more of like a very showmanship, like strongness to it. But in reality, it's supposed to be much more fluid. When I took that lesson from Mr. I, and we went over Naichi Chodan the whole hour, I was like surprised, because before I'd come in, I do Naichi, I do it fast, boom, 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 get it out the door, And now it's more like something that has to become fluid with it, and the way that you move and the way that you adjust. And that was the hardest thing for me, being criticized, because I knew I was doing it right. and I respect Brandon Kimmer. I love Brandon Kimmer, because he was in there busting my chops every Tuesday, making sure that I was doing it right.
Right.
Yeah. So I held myself accountable. I just told myself, this is going to be hard, but you're going to do it, dude. You've done it all your whole life. Commit to it, succeed, just like I did with fitness. Fitness is a whole nother thing, because most people could do fitness, but they can't do the diet part. The fun part is lifting the weights and working out and getting out and running.
That's the easy part, bro.
That's the easy part. The hard part is focusing in, changing your mindset, saying, you know what, I'm not going to eat that meal. Or if I'm going to eat that, how can I make it healthier? Because people don't understand, when you go to lose weight, you can't just do a 2-week diet, 30-day diet, 60-day diet. You want to see really big changes, you have to do it consecutively, like you did with keto, over 100 pounds, dude, a year. It takes a period of time, and most people don't have that span. They're like, oh, I don't see the results, screw this, I'm done. So I don't know.
I think what you had that in the gym. I've watched you, as far as the fitness side. I mean, when anybody goes to your Facebook page, if anybody goes and sees Blake Foster, or on your Blake A. Foster on your Instagram, and see how you've transformed yourself. I mean, I know that you watched me, and so we interacted well, because we were both kind of on a journey together. And I know that there was a time you just weren't as healthy, or you didn't feel as healthy, whether you were drinking some alcohol and just eating whatever you want. And you made a change. Yep. That's another thing. I think everybody counted you out again. I don't know why people keep saying, well, Blake Foster's never going to do it. I don't know where they get the idea that you're not disciplined.
That's because Bernie Krasno, that's Pops, because Pops would always be like, oh, Blake the Flake. Blake the Flake. No, but as I got older, I just started holding myself more accountable in the things. And I was telling my buddy the other day, he was like, damn, dude, you're in phenomenal shape. How'd you do that? And I was like, my son, I went to play baseball with him when he was like 3 or something. I was out of shape. I was drinking every day. I was playing video games. I was eating late at night. I wasn't disciplined. I would still go work out, but I was defeating the purpose, because I was just eating the wrong things. And my son was like, Dad, you're out of breath. How are you going to play baseball with me? And that day changed for me. Honestly, I said, I'm never going to have him tell me that ever again. I want to be able to be like, come on, dude, you're slacking over there. Like how it is now when we run the mountains.
Right. So I'll tell you, watching us, because you and I kind of worked together a little bit, and we would, we'd jab at each other about the weight room. Right. And you helped me, even push myself, even at 60 years old, and you're like, well, I pushed up to 90s, and I'd say, well, here's the picture of me doing inclines with 110, bro. What's up? What's up for your 90?
Honestly, I still can't do it. As I've cut weight, like it's crazy. You cut weight and you can't lift as heavy. You're not eating carbs. You can't push through the day. It's crazy.
And sometimes, right? So I would do this to get that picture. And in my head, I said I do it. And then what would happen? Right? So I'd be pushing, right? And I get this picture and I do my sets. And then I'm like, everybody sees this is Facebook Live, right? Everybody sees the the picture. Nobody sees me afterwards after I rack the weights, and I'm just sitting on the bench going, man, my wrists are killing me.
I'm
My,
sore. Oh my
lifting
God,
heavy weights, being 60 years old, and I'm pushing 110. What? Come on.
Yeah, that's great though. That's awesome. You know, like the thing I said to you earlier too is like if you don't use it, you lose it. And I'm a big believer in that stuff. As you get older, it's so much better just to be on the healthier side because you know the benefits from that are just tremendous. Longevity, better way of life, better breathing, better feeling. You don't have to worry about all that stuff.
You know what, dude? You're kind of a leader for your family. I think that's probably what helped you get your dad back on track a little bit. And I know from people watching on their journeys what that looks like when you're trying to do things for others. But just like you said, dude, you had to finally do something for yourself. And I tell everybody, listen, there's no magic pill for fitness. Mm-hmm. It is a mindset. Eat less calories and eat healthy food and work out. There is no magic pill
calorie deficit
on the planet, man.
That's what it
There's
is.
just not.
Yep.
And you know, it's funny because you know how I am. I'm pretty meticulous about measuring my ketones and all the stuff all the time and staying in ketosis and stuff. And even right now, I'm kind of like at a standstill. So when I came out here, I did have meal prep. The first night I was here, I meal prepped myself the whole time because I'm not eating out in the South in these restaurants. I'm not doing it.
Don't right? You'll kick yourself out of keto.
I go there. Yeah, no.
So, South boys love them sugar.
No, man. It was pretty
baby
simple.
Back ribs.
Right. And so
cornbread.
And I'm sitting here and I was cooking my meals and going, you know, because we all have these mindsets, right? And as you get ready for your fight and stuff, this mindset, this, I tell everybody, you know, Andy Frisella says it the best. You have a beast voice and a bitch voice, right? And so you're going to have to choose which one is. And when that B voice comes out, sometimes they're like, well, you're out in the South. You don't really have to. And I already had my mindset. As soon as I stepped off that airplane, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm buying what I need. I'm making my meals. I'm not going out to eat.
That's commitment.
And
that's commitment, consistency, and determination.
And Jay Walker's on, right? You know, Jay's from the South,
Jay,
right?
Yeah,
right. This is him. Collard greens and pork chops all day.
That's right.
And, you know, Jay is totally like that. You know.
What up, Jay?
And so, Doug, Larry Roberts was asking where you're at in Texas because I think he's out there too. So I remember having this journey and watching you completely transform yourselves when you started, dude, and you said that, hey, I'm going to do this fight, and then you'd come in and you'd grapple with us a little bit, and then you would talk about what you're going to do. And then I remember you kind of messing around with different diets and stuff like that. You did keto for a while too, and you started dropping weight. But then, dude, you just went off on something that completely transformed. You got your abs popping out, and you are ready for this fight. So let's talk about this fight that's coming up and how that even changed you more mentally, because, you know, I've been listening to this, and I'm probably even guilty myself, right? About people, when you're doing something great, like you're about to do, step into the ring, and then everybody around you is like, well, you know, you better do this, or that's going to happen. You better do that. Everybody's a critic, right? Everybody's a keyboard warrior talking smack, and you're out here finding a niche and finding these high-end fighters that you get to go to their gym now, and you're sparring and you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's talk about the fight and how you're preparing for it.
So, you know, we've been trying to get this fight to happen for years now. A year before COVID, we were supposed to do it. Then COVID hit. Obviously, nothing's going to happen during COVID. But in that whole year of COVID, I was still training because I knew that in order to be ready, you have to stay ready. You know, you can't fall off down the line. We keep pushing for the fight. We finally got solidified contract for the money part. of the fight. So that's going to be taken care of. We're shooting for the end of July, if not the first week of August. Tough Enough, the company that I'm fighting out of, is owned partly by Dana White. Dana owns 50% of Tough Enough, which is the amateur MMA company out in Vegas. So I just got word today that with all this Jake Paul shit, that antics and stuff that he's doing, he's really putting a damper on a lot of these smaller venues, these amateur MMA fights, because no one wants to have a celebrity like me come in and do what Jake Paul's doing, right? So we're shooting for the end of July. We have other options put in place. The fight is definitely going to happen, but I've been training my ass off. Even during COVID, I was at your studio with Lewis doing pad work, started off rolling, doing some jiu-jitsu and stuff with you guys, went to a couple other studios. Long story short, I met Rob at a Harley on my Harley one day, and we just hit it off. He was like, dude, come spar, man. You need to spar with some pro fighters, man. You got a fight coming up. I told him about the fight. And ever since then, he's really embraced me. We've become really good friends. We ride Harleys every Sunday together, and I'm over there banging with him. I'm sparring with dudes, and it's not point fighting. I'm actually getting out there, and we're brawling, dude, and we're going to the ground, and we're tapping each other out, and we're putting in the work. And I think what changed my physical appearance with the abs popping out and all this stuff is the high intense HIIT cardio classes that I'm doing. I take a class and then I spar for 30, 45 minutes. And I'm doing that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, along with my gym workouts in the morning. So I'm burning 2,400 calories a day, and I'm probably only intaking around 1,600. So I'm definitely in a deficit every single day.
Right.
That's helping me lose the weight. And what's happening is the body fat's just chiseling off of me. I'm just starting to get really toned up as I get down to 205. I'm currently sitting at 220, 223. I fluctuate. But that's not based on diet. That's based on my work ethic, what I decide to do in the gym that day. So like, for example, today when I went to go lift and do some power sleds and pulls and some ropes and some parachutes, I was just not fully there. My mindset wasn't there. I still got the workout in, but I didn't burn as much as I could. And I have class tonight at 6:00 where I'm going to go and I'm going to be sparring because I was trying to conserve my energy. So it's just a matter of not beating myself up. But I know that going into this fight, I have to put my body to a test because my conditioning is all the way up. I can run a 7-minute mile for a big guy like myself. I'm running 7-minute miles right now. So my stamina is there. I just want to be physically in that mindset to know that once I enter that cage, everything is left at that door. I'm not holding nothing out. I'm going balls to the walls. I'm going to show the world who the toughest Ranger is, because it's definitely not Michael Lasky. Okay. And then afterwards, I'm willing to take on another opponent in the Ranger community since they got such big mouths these days. But I'm tired of the Blake can't fight. Blake doesn't do this. Blake doesn't do that, because they honestly don't know. But they will find out how well I get down and how fast I move, because I'm faster than I've ever been.
It's funny what, everybody hears karate, you know what I mean? They don't really understand that what karate, I bet you the MMA guys are, when you start doing standing side kicks and skip they get so frustrated with it, right? They're like, what? Come on. You know what I mean? So
they're frustrated.
And
I think get in on me. And that's like, every single person I've fought, whether it's a Muay Thai kickboxer or a MMA guy or whatever, they're all walking out of there telling me, damn, dude, you're a big dude and you move so fast. How do you get that sidekick? They want me to teach a sidekick seminar class. It's that damn good. But it's like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, dude. You're agile on your feet. If you can move, you know how to get in and get out. Over the years, that's just what I did. I got in and I got out. I got my point, I got out. But now when I'm in there, I'm more of like in a chatter position where once I get in, I'm staying in and I'm keep going. And you're getting hurt. I honestly don't want to hurt Mike. I'm going to play with him the first 3 rounds. I'm going to play with him. He's going to try to take me down with his wrestling experience, but he's going to have a hard time because I'm a big guy. A lot of guys can't take me to the floor. It's hard. Once I'm moving around, it's hard. And I'm not bragging. I'm very I know Mike's capabilities, and he's very good at what he does. But I just think that he's never fought somebody that has experience like I do.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Now I don't know in the beginning if we even said exactly who you're fighting. Tell them who the other Ranger is and what this match is exactly.
Yeah, so it'll be an amateur MMA fight. All amateur MMA rules do apply. 4-ounce gloves. Michael Lasky, he's a fellow actor buddy of mine. We grew up together acting. He was a flashback episode, or he played young Rocky. So he never technically morphed on the show, but he did play the character when he was a younger kid. They did like a flashback type thing, or an episode where they were kids, and Michael Lasky was the Red Ranger. So, Mike came into the scene, got on Instagram, and started blowing up on TikTok. He's doing really well on TikTok. He's pretty funny, actually. I got to give it to him. We don't have no bad beef. There's no bad blood tension or anything. We're actually good friends. But like I said, once that gauge closes, we're not friends, and he's going to get punched in the face numerous times. But
yeah, that's when you know you have real friends, when you can choke and hit each other all the time.
And you know what Mike even said? He was like, after we beat each other up in the ring, we still can go out and have a drink afterwards. And I don't, like I said, I don't have no bad blood towards him. He's a good guy. He's got a family. He's got a studio out in Utah. He does his thing. But it's given us the opportunity to create some type of controversy or some bad blood for these fans. And, during COVID, there's not much else to do. We weren't doing anything. We were trying to push this fight even more, just to get it out there and say, hey, we're going to give you the fans something that they want to see. I'm sure that the fans want to see other Rangers go at it. But me and Mike were the first ones to hop on it and say, the way it actually came about was Michael Lasky called out Jason Frank, the Green Ranger, because Jason Frank's done MMA fights too. So Mike goes, hey, JDF, why don't we get in the ring or something? And I didn't like the fact that he called out one of my castmates. I didn't like the fact that Mike was coming up on the scene of Instagram, embarking on Power Rangers, and then he was calling out my castmates. So I said, no, screw that, dude. Why don't you pick on somebody your own age, your own size? Because JDF's a little older than us. And then that's how it came about. And we were like, yeah, we'll set a match. We'll do it, this and that. Come to find out, JDF is now on Mike's side saying he's got $5,000 on Mike.
Must be nice to lose that money, bro.
I know. All my friends are like, dude, are you serious? I'll bet 10,000 right now. Yeah. So it's like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I stuck up for the guy. And then he goes, now he's on the other guy's team. What is that? It's like backstabbing me, bro. I guess that's the end. That's the actor's industry, huh?
That's the game plan, right? That's the game. So it's funny how you decided to do that, and what this could lead to. I do know this, but I've been watching you, and anybody that thinks that you can't fight, let them keep thinking.
Exactly. Okay. After the fight, people are gonna be like, wow, that guy can move.
So, I don't think people really, unless they're standing next to you, realize just how big you really are.
Yeah, they don't.
You're a big, powerful dude, and it's and then you got a foot that's fast as lightning. You know what I mean? And that's it. Just another one of the big guys that can move. Yeah. Don't underestimate.
My buddy that I've been sparring with almost every other night over there, he's a big dude. He's like, Blake, you should just do UFC heavyweight division, dude. Your kicks, you would demolish these guys. And I'm thinking, yeah, dude, have you seen what that dude looks like? What's the champion's name right now? The big dude? He's huge, bro. Fred Nagano or whatever.
There's some big boys in there.
I told my mom said, please don't make this a thing. Do this one and be done. And that's probably what it'll be. I'm not a fighter. I'm too pretty to be a fighter. Keep my face and keep my teeth looking just like this. Yeah, Jay, we going to Vegas, man. I expect you there too, dude. The whole squad's going to Vegas in July.
Yeah, we're going to go watch it, dude. We're going to be down for that for sure. Yeah. So that was good. I think that, talking about where you've come from a childhood acting down, and then it's, into your martial arts and your tournament world, then you're into your adult world. And now I think fitness is what's on your mind. Tell me about, you gotten your own clients now. Is a direction that you've decided? And obviously you've transformed yourself 100%. You know that Jay's on here too, Jay Walker. I don't know if you know this.
Before and after picture. I saw the V. Yeah, I saw the VJ. It's just a way of lifestyle for me, I feel like. And it's not so much that I have clients. I just have a lot of friends that have seen the transformation as well. And they're like, hey, dude, help get me into shape. Come on. Summer's here. Well, sorry guys, so it's a little too late to get you by summer. So we can work on it, but it's just a way of lifestyle for me. I enjoy it. You know, you got to be passionate about something in life, and my passion is getting my body right, getting my mind right, and once you have all that in line, everything else just kind of falls in place. You know, like I said about the martial arts, you do martial arts, you zone in, you get back to your foundation, your techniques. It's a thing that helps me. Like it's my anger management. He said Goose Fraba. You know, it's like my Zen point. It's my Zen. So I honestly enjoy it. I just started. I mean, I was 290 when I first started a couple years ago, and I was out of shape. I was not toned at all. I had a lot of loose fat, and I looked at that picture and I said, I don't want to look like that anymore. I'm tired of looking like that. I'm tired of going to the beach and keeping a shirt on. I was very self-conscious, you know. So I just made the pivotal change, and I said, I'm done. I'm going to change my diet. And now I did keto. I think I did keto for 30 days. I don't know how you did a year. I gave you big props on that because it's hard. But keto kickstarted my diet. I think I did it for 30 days, and I lost 11 pounds or 12 pounds or something in keto. And I was like feeling good. And then, you know, I went and had a cheat meal or something. But now I've got to the point where I realize I don't really even need to do any diet. I just need to know that I need to stay away from sugars and carbs, and I need to keep it a clean, whole meal, and I need to be in a deficit. So I intermittent fast still. I stop eating at 8 at night. My first meal is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's probably like some eggs, turkey, bacon, spinach, tomato, avocado, nice scramble. I like that. I still enjoy that with some hot sauce, and that's my first meal. And then my second meal of the day is dinner time. Before I go train, I'll eat salmon, broccoli, salmon, asparagus, chicken, broccoli. You know, I keep it very clean, still no carbs. And if I ever feel like, okay, I need to have a cheat, it's not a cheat day. It's a cheat meal. So it's one meal, and I'll still be in my deficit, and I won't gain weight. So,
and I think that's what as far as fitness goes, you know, we've spoke about this before. I think that, you know, I've told you before, me personally, I never had a cheat meal or a cheat day. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when I went on the keto, I decided I'm not going to have cheat days and cheat meals, because cheat meals turn into cheat days turn into cheat weekends, right? And then everybody is, you know, then all of a sudden it's like, well, you know what, I'll do this.
I will say, once you do have a cheat meal, you're like, okay, one more won't hurt.
Right.
Correct. You know, it does trickle down like that. It does. I think I've just adapted myself to where I know, like, if I'm going to have a cheat meal, it's going to be one, and I can't have anything like that. So I eat that meal so slowly. I shoot that burger like 500 times per bite.
You know, well, and you know, and I get that. I think that's why, you know, the high fat was a different thing for me. It was like a really weird thing. But then people on keto too, man, it doesn't mean that everything is bacon and butter.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
keto's full of that stuff. It's not.
That's right. You know, it's just not. You know, it's a meal that would not be is considered a keto meal, but really probably not on the most healthiest would be to go through In-N-Out with 3 hamburgers with 3 things of cheese. Yeah, you know what I mean? You can't be eating like that every day. No. It's just not. There's not clean food coming into you. I knew when I was close to, the most weight I ever was, I believe, was 380 myself.
Sheesh.
And so I don't know if you know that. Have you ever seen my before picture?
I think I saw one picture, right? Really, really big.
And I was like, when you see that stuff, you're like, I mean, first of all, I don't remember myself like that. I could still move back then. I was still working out. It wasn't like I wasn't working out, but it's just like you said, right? Going to the weight room, being the fat heavyweight in the weight room, and
pumping
just because I can lift
that,
right? Just because I can lift the iron. If you're not putting the diet in, man, it don't.
Yeah,
it's just not what it is.
You can't cheat yourself.
No,
you can't cheat yourself. And like you were saying, if you do have a cheat meal, I look at it like this. I look at it like, if I'm gonna have a cheat meal, it's gonna be one meal, and I'm getting right back on course. I'm not slacking off on 2-3 meals, 2 donuts, pizza, stuff like that. But I hold myself very much accountable for when it's time to get back on track.
So did your folks tell you when I snuck up on them after they were getting out of the line?
She was like, he rolled up on us. I knew that was you. Yeah, see, that's another thing, that fast food is the enemy. Correct. Fast food is the worst thing that you could possibly put in your body, Now, there are healthy fast food options if you are on the go and you need something quick.
Absolutely.
Example, El Pollo Loco.
Yes.
Chicken breast, broccoli, side salad. Perfect on the go, quick, easy, no carbs, good. Number 2, my favorite, Chick-fil-A. Cobb salad with grilled chicken nuggets.
Correct.
Bomb. Quick,
right.
Easy, good to go. Diet Coke. That's like a quick little, and you can have a Diet Coke once in a while. I like a little bit of bubbles. I actually switched. I was doing a lot of Perrier, but I also think that's what I was retaining so much water. And when I started really just cutting the carbonation drinks out of my body, that's when I started defining too. Because carbonation, what does it do? Blows you up.
It blows you up, dude. I think I agree with that 100. I think I agree with that 100%.
Yep.
You know, Larry Roberts is on here telling if you see that, he's like an inspiration to you. You know,
96 right now.
Yeah. He's a really good dude. You know, it says like Doug's up to 210 right now too. Hey, listen, man, this COVID was nobody's. Here's the thing about COVID though, right? You and I looked at COVID and said, you can kiss my ass. We're gonna work right through it, because I put a gym through my thing. I wasn't gonna. It's already depressing not being able to be at the studio. If there's no way they're going to take my gym away. And so, you know, a year before that, I spent all my time building a gym at my home with all the equipment that I need. So I always had it, you know, and Lewis would come over and use it. And I have a beautiful gym at my house, and I couldn't be, you know, and so here's the thing, right? With COVID or whatever, right? It's going to control you or you control it and the outcome.
I see a lot of my buddies in the gym that are starting to trickle in now that stuff is over with. Right. And they're all gained weight. And I'm like, oh, COVID got you, huh?
Yeah, that's that COVID weight. It used to be marriage got you. Now it's COVID, right? Because it's easy. It's easy, right? It's easy to be complacent with what you do. Complacency is an enemy of the people. And when you're complacent in life or in diet, your results just won't be there. So it's been great. Even for me, I keep, you know, Jay Walker's the one that really got me started. You remember the transformation that man did. Yeah. And, you know, he's the one that really kind of introduced me to do what I do. And then, you know, believe it or not, I get off watching you do your things. Now, I don't comment a ton of stuff, but somebody like you will continue driving me, you know what I mean? And making me want to be a better, for sure better, at what I do.
Yep.
So
that's what it is too. You got to have people that you look up to, that you want to aspire to be or aspire to look like, you know, because that's what's going to, honestly, you have to set that goal. You have to have that. You have to have that vision. That's why they say, oh, create a vision board. Vision boards are great. You can accomplish all those things if you just actually put your mind to it. So
that's correct. I think that's a good message for you to resonate out to those that that think that way, because you've had to be on track to get ready for a fight, and that's exactly what you've done.
It's not easy. It's not easy. I'm currently 220, 223, whatever the case may be. I still got to go to 205, but I figure like the month of May, I'll probably lose another 10 more pounds. I'm going to be skinny. It'll be the skinniest I've ever been in a very long time. I personally like being like 240, benching 3 plates. That's great. Right. I love being big like that. But
so that's what pushed me way back in the day into powerlifting, right? Because I'm like, well, who cares about diets, man? I can push 3-4 plates. What's up? Back in the day, I'm squatting 620.
Yeah. You're probably waking up eating 6 eggs and a bowl of oatmeal. Right. You know,
so
powering
now
yourself through that workout.
Now I'm like, there's no way. I mean, back in the day when I squatted, what I used to squat 620. I used to get off on watching the bar, the bar shake. Just bend and shake. It was like an adrenaline. It was like, you know what that was like. Yeah. And so I used to love it. Yeah. And so, but there was no diet back in the day. It's just, you go in, you lift heavy weights, and you go home and you eat garbage. And once again, it's probably back there. I don't know how I got to that kind of weight. I mean, depression is the enemy of the people, and going through a really bad divorce, being a single dad that I had to take care of my children. They're all on my plate. that's
all those things
not
weigh in.
all that stuff weighs in. And hey, man, I'm at the studio. Hey, we're going to have to get pizza for the night, or we're getting Taco Bell. And then you're making your kids fat. I mean, you've seen my children, right? They, all of them, Michael had to lose 100 pounds, and Daniel lost 100 pounds, Ariel lost weight, Gabe lost weight. And it's just like, man, what did I do to my family, man? And so, when I had to take my own self back, and just like you're a leader for your own family, helping your dad, making sure he stays on track. And
he's lost 20 pounds, by the way. He's down 20.
I know. I could tell in his pictures that he's doing better.
He's up here riding the bike every day. I tell him, I was like, don't hurt yourself. So he's in there trying to push himself. And I'm like, dude, just do 30 minutes a day, work your way up slowly. It's just a matter of doing it longevity as opposed to a quick fix of it. You don't need to do it just quick fix. You need to be able to do it every day. Don't hurt yourself. So proud of him. He's doing really good. He's staying on track.
Good. Well, you're a good motivator. You're a good man. You're a good dad, and you're a good martial artist, man. You're just an all around good guy. And I want to make sure everybody knows that you have.
I will check out Mike Dulce, Jay. By the way, I will check him out.
So you have another apparel company.
Hustle Matters.
Why don't we talk about that if somebody wants to go look at that, what that looks like?
Hustle Matters, my clothing line. It's me and my buddy Aaron Coney. We started it 8 years ago. We got a bunch of stuff, hats, sweaters, shirts. It's just something that I've always had that hustler mindset. Like I've always been money hungry. I've always wanted to have the finer things in life. I have a very expensive taste. So I was always like, what am I going to do to be able to have these things in life? And what really matters? And then it just came about. I was like, man, hustle really matters. So hustlematters.shop. That's our clothing line. That's our web store. It's all in the link in my bio on my Instagram. I'm actually in the process. I'm months away from launching my CBD. More CBD. We just announced it today. Products will be in. I'll have all hemp products, non-organic CBD, full spectrum rubs. I'll have pet tinctures. I'll have creams. I'll have oils. I'll have gummies. All that good stuff, because, health and fitness, it requires not just a bunch of working out and eating right. You also got to take care of your body on the back end. You got to take the right supplements. You have to do the right stuff as far as stretching. And dude, I never thought about it before, but now after I'm done training, I got to stretch because I won't be able to walk the next day, So all these muscle recovery things. And I'm a big, huge believer in CBD. I'm a huge believer in CBD. It fixed my knee. When I hurt my knee and I had to test and my back was out and I was doing all that stuff. And I did CBD. All I did was rub CBD, and I got a good company that's out of Utah that's producing all my CBD for me. And we're about to hit it summer 21. Website will be up probably within the next month. You could follow Morph CBD on Instagram also. And we're just coming out new company, new brand, new launching tools. Along with Hustle Matters and the kids, man, all this training, I'm like head over heels and stuff. I don't even know. I don't even know how I maintain to do it all, but I just keep pushing myself and telling myself, look, you want this, you got to have this. And these are the things that you want in life. You want to be a business owner. You have to dig deep, man. You have to dig deep, and you have to stay humble, or you're going to get humbled. So
you're right. That's 100%. Stay humble or get humbled.
Yep.
So
I love that motto, and it's the truth. You just stay humble in life. You count your blessings, and you treat people the way that they want to be treated. And everything else will trickle in. Good things will start coming your way.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. And so anything to your fans real quick before we sign off?
I love all my fans. Any of my fans in here, I love all you guys, man. Seriously, if it wasn't for the fans, honestly, I don't think I wouldn't have a platform. I wouldn't be where I'm at today, social media wise, or with a brand, or with a company, Power Rangers and let alone. But, over the years doing Comic Cons, I met a lot of great people. I met a lot of great fans that turned into friends. So I'm just very grateful and blessed to have the community behind me, and the martial arts community behind me, and my new home, my new alliance with you guys. And I'm just blessed, man. I'm very grateful for everything in life right now.
Yeah, that's good.
And I can't wait to knock out Michael Lasky. So everybody can be like, wait, did you see that road kick?
So. Hey, well, you're going to have some of us behind you. We're going to go out and see what happens, So when tickets are ready and we know it's a set thing,
I literally just started finishing my sponsorship deck and stuff for all my banners and all the names and everybody that's going to be on there. So we're putting that all together, and it's just a process, man. It's a lot. I don't know how these fighters do this all the time, but
Yeah.
I was like, this might be a one and done for me.
That's right. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and the pay isn't all that great.
No, it's not.
Unless you're Connor, then it might be a little bit better, right? So,
who the fuck is that guy? No, yeah. Hopefully, he wins his fight on my birthday, man. He needs to go and fight Dustin Poirier with some more respect. I feel like, just like Usman and Masvidal. If you're coming after that man's belt, you see how calm, cool, collective he was. You can't be out there being arrogant and cocky. I don't like guys like that.
Yeah.
You will never catch me doing that in the ring. I'm coming for the championship belt, baby.
That was good. Hey, Larry, I really appreciate you, Larry, popping in, saying all your comments. We did have a great show today. It was really fun. It was a fun listen.
Awesome.
Look, Larry's kind of a coach of mine for podcasting, so I'll get critiqued after we're done, I'm sure. Yeah, but if you're going to be great in life, you got to have great coaches, right?
Absolutely.
So
it is what it is.
All right. Well, I really enjoyed my time with you,
Me too, sir.
Blake. Your son's going to be.
He'll be testing black soon, man. He's green black, so he'll be there.
We'll blink our eyes before it's
after
done.
All this training and stuff's over, I'm able to actually come in there and teach and help out a little bit more too. I definitely want to put on my uniform, and I don't think most of the kids know who I am yet, but they will.
Yeah, they will. We're looking forward to getting your experience on the sparring side and being able to utilize you while we got you.
Yep.
So we look forward to it.
Awesome.
Have an awesome night, Blake. I hope everybody out there listening, thanks for chiming in. You guys can go find Blake on Facebook at Blake Foster on Facebook. It's Blake A. Foster, I think, on Instagram, you said.
Blake A. Foster on Instagram, right. Blake Anthony Foster, Facebook. Right.
And if you guys are looking, I know he does this. If you guys watch Lewis, the one from Breaking Bad, he did a birthday. What do you call those that you celebrities do for people? And don't you do those too as a blue Power Ranger? You haven't?
No, you won't find me in my spandex, sir. Spandex. It might look good these days, but I'm not putting on spandex. That suit is too little.
It's a little bit easier. All right, I'll check you. Bye bye.